Linda, Kelly, and Fred were, quote, new characters in Halo 5, but they weren't new to the lore by any means. These Spartan 2s were kidnapped, trained together, and are the closest thing Master Chief has to a family.
Yeah.
So the big question is, what were they doing during Halo 1, Halo 2, and during Halo 3 and 4 and between these games? The answers are actually quite surprising, as they were right behind the scenes the whole time.
Really?
And we will also ask, could they return to Halo 6?
I want them
all these
to return.
questions regarding Blue Team today, so let's go ahead and get into it. Blue Team was a team that originally had only 3 members, which included John 117, Samuel 34, and Kelly 87, with other Spartans at times being temporarily added and removed, such as Fred or Linda, which would later be a part of the official team that we know in Halo 5 Guardians. Blue Team is regarded as the closest thing Master Chief has to a family, maybe besides Dr. Halsey and Cortana, as the fellow kids, like Linda and Kelly, were also kidnapped for the Spartan program, became his lifelong friends. So where was Blue Team in Halo Combat Evolved? Well, before we get into Halo 1, we must know what happened shortly before. Well, during the Covenant invasion of Reach, as witnessed in Halo Reach, Blue Team was divided into 2 parts, that being Red Team and Blue Team. Blue Team, which had Master Chief, James, and Linda, was tasked to defend orbital space stations that held sensitive data of Earth, and Red Team was sent to the surface to defend power relays and defend orbital defense platforms. However, during the extraction, Linda was shot in the back with an overcharged plasma pistol and fell into a deep coma. Master Chief did, however, escape Reach on the Pillar of Autumn, which picks up at the beginning of Halo 1, exiting the cryo and arriving at Installation 04. When the ring was destroyed, Master Chief escaped on a long sword, as we see in the cutscenes of Halo 1, and through many obstacles, he managed to go back to Reach to search for Blue Team.
Really?
At this point, we're between Halo 1 and 2. Master Chief eventually met up with Fred and Kelly and other Spartans on planet Reach and returned to the hijacked Covenant ship Ascendiant Justice. Once discovered the Covenant had found Earth and planned a large invasion, they planned to ambush them. First strike. With Linda back in the action, joined John, Fred, and others to attack, and successfully delaying the attack by destroying 486 ships of the Covenant fleet. So where was Blue Team during Halo 2 and Halo 3? Well, Master Chief returned to Earth, where he ordered Fred and Linda to report to Oni, and they would need to inform the UNSC about Operation First Strike, where they successfully delayed the Covenant invasion of Earth. And of course, they would need to warn about the upcoming invasion of Earth, which leaves us in the beginning of Halo 2. After Master Chief's disappearance during the Mombasa Slipspace event, at which point was also the beginning of Halo 3 ODST,
Good game.
Blue Team was deployed on Earth for 2 weeks, while Amberclad was pursuing the Prophet of Regret. Blue Team completed many operations during this time, including the orbital mission that stopped a Covenant invasion in Antarctica with a tactical nuke, and later fought off forces near the Yucatan Peninsula. They headed off to stop more enemies in Cuba, where they went in an orbital elevator and destroyed a capital ship. Blue Team left in a Covenant ship, Bloody Spirit, and went to assist Dr. Halsey, who was on Onyx. During the Battle of Onyx, the team joined Spartan 3s, fighting off both Covenant and Foreigner Sentinels. They entered the Shield world, they had a funeral, and several Spartans were reassigned to Blue Team by Fred and Kelly. Once inside the Foreigner planet, they had to bunker down in a slip-space bubble, which basically equated to 3 months' time. Once they left it, it was February 2553, and they returned to the UNSC Port Stanley and were brought to Earth. On March 3rd, 2553, Blue Team had time to attend the Voy Memorial, which tributed to the lost soldiers during the 30-year-long war with the Covenant, with a small section devoted to John. And although he was officially listed as MIA, many presumed that he had, in fact, died. So where was Blue Team during the time of Halo 4? Well, during the time between Halo 3 and Halo 4, around May 2553, Blue Team went to a planet named Gaio. to search for a foreigner in Celia, which was complicated by a string of murders. Blue team fought off post-Covenant factions that were smuggled in by insurrectionist sympathizers and attacked UNSC forces. After many days of fighting, Blue team's leaders Fred, Linda, and Kelly, along with others, met up. They managed to escape as the new Gayos military resisted UNSC presence. Years later, July 25th, 2557, Blue team, consisting of Master Chief, Linda, Kelly, and Fred, the Spartans that we know as Blue team in Halo 5, were stationed at Earth shortly after the end of Halo 4's New Phoenix incident involving the Didact. They deployed to Gamma Halo, where they found the bodies of Black Team, and they discovered the composer's anus abyss and a slip space portal inside. This all takes place in Escalation 10, which I made a video about back in 2014, so I'll play that here. Saw portals open with objects coming down. At Halo 4's ending, the Didact went through the composer's abyss and slip space back here. Black Team wonders what or who it is, and then he kills Black Team. 859 Static Carhelion identifies himself to the Didact, and the Didact realizes that he is a keeper of composers. The Monitor is confused and wonders how the greatest warrior servants and the master of his charges are still alive. The Monitor comes from a service portal and explains he has a passage to the composer's forge. Now a day has passed where issue 8 left off and issue 9 begins. Master Chief, Frederick, Linda, and Kelly, aka Blue Team, walk into a portal. They chat and walk up to the 6 composers. Master Chief wonders why. Why is there so many composers here? Well, the Didact appears behind them. Blue Team fires and the Didact shakes the ground. They begin to get attacked by hordes of Promethean Knights, Watchers, and Crawlers. The Monitor scrambles and explains this is a violation of their agreement between him and the Didact, and these Prometheans are abominations, tortured souls. Their full agreement being the Halo Ring Installation 03 and transported to the composer's forge. The Didact looks up in the sky and sees a Halo Ring and says, "Now to repair the ring," and waves towards the composer. This is odd because the Didact hates Halo, but we'll pick up on that in just a second. As discussed before, he has the Index, which could have a second and third purpose. During the firefight with the Prometheans, the Monitor tells Blue Team the Didact has an entire Halo now and is repairing it from the damages that the humans caused. At the end of Halo 4, New Phoenix was composed, and these are just the few humans that were composed into Prometheans, as the Monitor explains. The Monitor then reveals a scary detail about the Didact's plan. Get a hold of this. He says the Didact plans to fire the Halo Ring near Earth. They sprint back to the portal from which they came with the Monitor on Blue Side's team at this point. They run back into the portal with hopes that the Monitor can turn off the portal once they go through. They zap back and realize the Didact is moving the composer into position. They leap off the platform and see the Didact is above them. He attacks them. Meanwhile, Chief is behind the Didact with a big fat ass knife, leaps up on the Didact and stabs him right in the freaking eye. My god. He grabs Chief's head and raises him up. I have always known my fate. I knew someday I would die in battle, end quote. We then come back to present time with the Didact holding Chief in midair. Blue Team sprints after them and Chief is thrown at Blue Team. Kelly fires the scatter shot at the Didact, once again at his head. He then grabs the shotgun from her, crushes it, and blasts her away, and then tackles Linda. With all the Blue Team down, the Didact takes the knife out, and then Frederick fires a bolt shot at the Didact's head. Out of nowhere, Monitor 859 fires at the Didact and disables him. The Monitor tells Blue Team they must quickly regroup as the Didact is teleported. Actually, where he goes isn't good, but Frederick asks if John is okay, and he replies, ears are ringing, armor's power cycling just a second longer. At this point, Chief tries to take off his helmet, but quickly realizes it's fused on. The Monitor informs them if you fight a warrior servant, you can't give them the opportunity to attune his armor to your weapons. The Didact is now gone. Our blue floating fella admits he had made a severe error. Kelly is upset about the teleportation to the secure location on the Halo Ring. Chief picks up the activation index and says, I know a weapon he can adapt to. The Didact arrives at the control room as he was teleported there and realizes he has been tricked. Master Chief is also now in the control control room, they walk up to each other, one-on-one. John tells him that his crew is gone. Master Chief says, "You killed my friend," aka Cortana. "You killed millions of humans, and you tried to kill me. I've tried to end you with blades, with guns, with explosives, by knocking you into slip space, but none of it works," end quote. Chief holds the key and says, "I bet this does," and inserts the activation key into Halo. The Didact is surprised at Chief's incredible move to fire the Halo just to kill him. Master Chief explains to the Didact what the Monitor told him, that the Halo would kill all life in 25 light years. So Chief says that the Monitor suggested a better plan. At this point, the Didact is shaking in his boots. He doesn't know what John's gonna do, and John has the upper hand here. He says, "Two-step process. First, I manually deactivate the safety protocols. Second, Monitor ejects us right into the planet. A chunk of Gamma Halo detaches and falls hurling towards the planet the ring is orbiting. They come busting through the atmosphere and crash, destroying huge parts of the Forerunner city. Chief sprints away from the explosion and then teleports away. The Didact is vaporized into a crisp. The Didact is surely dead at this point, guys. It is just amazing. Blue team is worried. Perhaps Master Chief didn't make it back. Then suddenly, Chief and the Monitor appear back on the ship. The Monitor says he has found a new meaning through John after endless years of overseeing the dead facility. The Monitor makes his goodbyes and says he's hiding the Halo. Frederick yells, "Wait, taking the Halo where?" 72 hours after Halo 4's ending, Chief says, "We don't know where it, aka Halo, went, Admiral Hood." Hood replies, "You got the Didact. That's a damn fine day's work." He then asks John if he's okay. John says, "Yes, sir." Shockingly, Admiral Hood says, "Take off the armor, kick your feet up, and that he's had a couple rough years, and to just relax." John steps out and Blue Team asks what Hood said to him. Chief lies and says they were all given the clear and they're going back to work. Kelly wonders, "Where to this time?" And Chief responds, "Anywhere where needed." End of issue. Now that is the main issue, but we also get dialogue at the end. The dialogue says, Hood's freaking out. He just heard 117 reassigned himself. What we see here is a conversation between two individuals. Redacted 2 responds by saying, "Heh, Hood's always the last to know these days. Poor old man." Redacted 1 says, "What's he doing?" Then responds, "Chief, exactly what the psych eval said he would do, refusing to stop, taking one mission after another." Then the response follows, "Something's gotta give, right? He can't just keep doing this to himself forever." Then the last sentence of the comic replies, "Yeah, but if he wants to destroy himself, hell, who's gonna stop him?" End quote. So after that, Blue Team followed Chief mission after mission after mission after mission.
That makes sense to what they say here.
I haven't seen Chief press himself like this since we were in boot camp.
He's fine, Fred.
This many missions non-stop isn't fun.
Wow.
Everyone ready?
Affirmative.
You good?
And nothing's quite relevant as what happens later on Argent Moon, which occurs much later that year in October 23rd, 2558.
Destination Meridian. Potential contact from Cortana.
Negative 117. Another team is already being prepped to deal with her.
What the hell?
You're to return to Infinity immediately.
Negative Infinity. I don't like it.
Whoever they are, let's get to Meridian before they do.
Kelly, no.
No need to do this by yourself, Chief.
When Blue Team follows Chief to going rogue, to going AWOL. Why? Because Edward Buck put it so simply, they're family. So, will Blue Team be in Halo 6? Moving forward, it's very unclear, obviously, but as they said, 343 Industries is no longer bringing new playable characters to Halo 6, but that isn't quite clear because I guess Blue Team at this point wouldn't be new characters because they were playable in Halo 5 Guardians. So who knows, but it seems that Blue Team has always been right there in the background of all the Halo games and all the Halo books, it seems, and all the lore, and ever so present in the action throughout all the story, just right there in the background. We'll probably never know Chief's biological family in Halo lore, but his real family is Linda, Kelly, and Fred, and those are the people that matter here. Plus, they're Spartans, so they're badasses. And despite them not being fleshed out as characters as much as many of us, including me, would like in Halo 5, hopefully they will be in Halo 6. Hopefully, them being together feels right for Halo and really lands in Halo 6, if they do come back.
Okay, so I really did like this, this Halo lore. I kind of knew about how they think it said Linda got shot in the back and then she was in a coma. I knew all of that. I watched that in a previous video, but I didn't know that after the Halo 4 incident, Chief met up with Blue Team and then the Dynamite was there and all that. I didn't know any of that. So that was really, really, really cool. And I like how it kind of, it's so Chief to, of course, be told to, take off the armor, relax, you've earned it, and be like, no, sir, I'm going to do another mission. That's so Chief there, mainly because he was also dealing with the loss of Cortana, and that was eating him up inside because, and like it said in Halo Infinite, like he said, he failed to save Cortana. He failed her. So even after all this time, it is still eating him up inside, which is very sad. But I love the fact that they are like humanizing Chief. I love it. It is so good. I absolutely love it. Poor Chief.